Why Paraguay's real estate boom starts now. I'm joined here by Ricardo Avalos. He is the owner of a real estate information analytics company here in Asuncion, Paraguay. And today I'm going to be asking Ricardo some interesting questions about the current state of the real estate market here in Asuncion, Paraguay. And hopefully we can also dive into the details of what exactly the future holds of real estate investment here in the heart of South America. Thank you so much for coming, Ricardo. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Gerald. And let's discover the gold mine in South America.
Talking about investing in real estate, more and more people are looking into the Paraguayan real estate market as high potential for growth in the next 5 to 10 years. What exactly do you see the future hold of the real estate market here? Specifically talking about the midterm, the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, let me give you a little history about the real estate here in Paraguay. We started in 2010 with a few buildings in avenue called Santa Teresa. Prior to that, it was almost 30 years back the last time we had certain growth in the real estate market. So since we had about 25 years without any growth or any movement in that sector, it was a weird thing to think how was the possibility of the real estate market in the next 5 years. But in 2010, it was different because the downtown of Asuncion, which it was located by the river in the point west side of the city, was moving towards an inner city side of the city. The Sheraton Hotel just put a foot on it in this area. A shopping center was about to be built in the same area, and the shopping plus the hotel plus a couple of developers actually create what we call the boom in 2010. Since 2010, Asuncion, a city of 125,000 residences, just grew 45,000 more residents additional to that. And so downtown was moving from the west side of the city by the river to an inner city location where a shopping center, hotels, and couple of developers were putting a foot on the city. So this is what we call the boom of Asuncion. It was 2010. And since then, I actually was the time when I was entering into the real estate market. So I foresight certain potential, but it wasn't easy to identify what was the real potential because information was lacking on the market. So since then, we have growth about $3 billion in only the residential market. So we add to a city of 125,000 residences, additional 40,000 residences in only the last 10 years. So now it's a fact. I mean, Asuncion real estate market just boomed, and now we're looking forward for the next 5 years.
What are some of the biggest challenges that developers face in the current state of the Paraguayan real estate market? If you can name a few of them, and also how those challenges can be overcome.
Depending on the market, let's say the residential market, right now the mortgage market is really small. It's only 1% of GDP. We're about $1 billion in mortgages. That needs to grow, let's say, at least 10 times. So in the range of $5 billion to $10 billion in the mortgage market, the residential will boom. A lot of people move from the countryside, let's say 200 kilometers from Asuncion, and they stay on the skirt of Asuncion. They never enter actually the Asuncion. So development is happening in Asuncion. Small houses, 72 square feet, 100 square meters, and is developing on the skirt of Asuncion. But the schools, the services, the infrastructure, the job, the entertainment is all located in Asuncion. So we need to make people move towards Asuncion. And one thing good about Asuncion is going vertical. And as you go vertical, is becoming more walkable, the city. A lot of good things come from the walkable city because cars will reduce in number, gasoline will start dropping in use as well. From the sustainability standpoint, will have a lot of benefit. But the first thing is mortgage, and then convincing people that they do not need to stay 30 kilometers from the city. And they need to move in the city. And then I think the residential market will receive a great impact on that. In other markets, like the office market, we grew from 100,000 square meter in 10 years back, and now in the range of 400,000 to 500,000, and the offer is still low compared to the demand. And so the office market will actually is booming as of now. Another reason why the office market is booming is because all of a sudden, after we got the investment grade, a lot of people discovered Paraguay as a great potential, and then they just came to Asuncion especially to see what's going on and what they can do, and that created a great market for Airbnb and offices. So retail market is also another reason of moving the real estate market, but this is happening more in the frontier of Asuncion, the cities that neighbor Brazil, especially Pedro Juan Caballero and Ciudad del Este. It's happening as well in Asuncion, but in a different form. Pharmacies and gas stations and supermarket in the format of one supermarket called Vigi, which is at 300 square meter and 10 to 20 parking lots. This is one model of business that is growing. And logistic and transport is also another big market. Is moving towards outside the city, and it's very small, the offer compared to the demand. So those are the markets I see as a great potential to grow.
Now, you know that more and more foreigners are looking to participate in the local investment opportunities here in Paraguay. Foreigners are very concerned about the risks they're taking outside their natural comfort zone, like their native country, be it the US, Canada, Western Europe, like the United Kingdom, European Union, or even Australia. What would you say are some of the most important ingredients that a foreign investor that didn't have a chance yet to participate in the local market would need to pay attention to, especially coming from an outsider's perspective?
This is the one thing really difficult to say in Paraguay, but I will start with the lack of information. The lack of information is giving you a big risk in terms of analyzing whether they're telling you the truth or not. The way we do business, specifically in the real estate market, is foreigners first came to lawyers and then they moved to developers, and both of them are giving them biased information because they promote their own products, and there's no place where actually you have official information about how the market is moving. So since you don't have any information to benchmark the market, then the information you are dealing with to make a decision is really limited. So I believe if I were a foreigner, I would really appreciate who hold this information and try to analyze more objectively all this information. And this is different from a different market. Even in Chile or in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, this information is available. And since it's available, you can evaluate who's doing good businesses and who's doing not, what product is booming in the market, and why the product need to be buy now and is going to enter the market within the next 3 years. I mean, the market today when you buy is not the same as in the next 3 years. And this is I would say the risk is the foreigner is taking when they come to a country where there is no information. And I believe looking to the people that objectively can give you that information, it's a basic requirement for a foreigner.
Now let's unturned a very important stone, which is the best neighborhoods to invest in Asuncion's metro. Some people think it's always going to be around the major shopping malls, Paseo La Galeria, Shopping del Sol, Shopping Mariscal as well. However, there are newer malls popping up in other parts of the city that are still considered Asuncion's metro. Where would you recommend foreigners to invest and why?
This is the area where we start thinking and talking about risk. Areas around the shopping centers where are the traditional sites where investors are going, like Shopping del Sol or Shopping Mariscal, are really high in demand, but the truth is that returns are lower in that area. The reason is because vacancy is very low and but prices are high. And making 5%, 6%, 7%, 8% return on a dollar invested in that area is regular, normal. But I say if we're going to a 15 IRR requirement for the dollar invested, we'll need to go outside those areas. In terms of going to that kind of a return, we have Chacoí. Chacoí is the area of New Asuncion by the river. I mean, it's not actually Asuncion, but it's only 10 to 15 minutes from here. It's a good investment, but it's in the long term. So I don't see value will be created within the next 5 years. It will be created within 10 years. But it's a place where your money will grow to the range of 10 to 15%. There is areas in Asuncion, I mean, the old neighbor, and where no one would like to invest because there is no movement, it's deteriorated because the market is not using that part of Asuncion. But I'm talking actually what the part of Asuncion, which is the old downtown and areas around old downtown. And for many people, it says don't invest there because no one is living there. Everybody wants to move towards the new Asuncion. But the reality is the value is there because the prices are cheap. The thing is, it seems like it doesn't have any value because people are not moving there. But with the right price and the right cost of redeveloping something, I mean, there is a lot of money on the table that you can actually invest. I see other areas of Asuncion where the opportunities are not residential. In areas of Asuncion where the opportunities are street malls or small commercial squares, stuff like that, and not necessarily going into the residential market. So if you look at the dynamic of the city, how people work, they got fun, they entertain, where their kids go to school, then you start understanding when and what kind of product is adequate for that part of the city. But I would say in every part of the city of Asuncion, and actually the skirt of Asuncion, which is 30 kilometers from the western point of the city towards the east, and there is opportunity everywhere in the city.
Now, there are some serious concerns here about infrastructure development, talking about roads. What Asuncion really lacks is, of course, public transportation. It's non-existing here. So how does that affect foreign investments? Let's say somebody wants to come here and potentially they are concerned about infrastructure not developing, that the government is potentially not paying enough attention to this so important part of developing the city, right? What do you forecast the future of Asuncion's infrastructure development to hold when it comes to things like, say, a metro system, trains, and also improving the current bus system? What do you predict to happen over the next, say, 5 to 10 years?
Well, this is a question that goes really up and up to the macroeconomic of Paraguay. I would love to say that after the investment grade, a lot of people in the investment world, I mean the financial community of the entire world, start seeing a little country in the middle of South America. Our GDP is in the range of $50,000 or $50 billion every year. Let's say the truth, there is a lot of economy that is not official, it's under the table because we have a lot of people that are not documented and a lot of transactions are not with official invoices and all that. So there is an underworld economy that is another extra 30 billion. But a lot of people says when we enter in an economy of $100 billion, then it's gonna be interest on the infrastructure. It's good and bad. Why is bad? Because people that are living right now in the city of Asuncion, and especially in the skirt, Asuncion is moving towards putting cables, electricity, sewage, and all the basics underground. It's moving in the right direction. This is investment from the government. But the rest of the city is moving towards more population, a lot of more buildings, as I said, 40,000 new residences in a city of 100,000. And I don't see infrastructure behind that. And it's not because the government doesn't put attention on that. Of course they put attention on that. The thing is they don't have the money to invest. I mean, and it's not a very great investment. For instance, I know by fact that changing the whole sewage system of the city of Asuncion is a project of $400 million. It's not, let's say, not really a big investment. I see investors coming to Paraguay, and instead of seeing only cattle, ranch, and soybean, start looking at cities and infrastructure. As you said, well mentioned, transport is a big issue as well. And again, it's not that the government doesn't have interest on that. The thing is, it's difficult to move at the velocity that the development of the country is asking. I mean, it's the capacity of the government to move in the same pace of the evolution of the city is not the same. In other words, transport is actually dying because the number of motorcycles are growing. It's weird because a lot of the accidents and the mortal situation of the street in Asuncion are rising because of the number of motorcycles on the street. And solution will be transport, but transport is dying. So it seems like we need to start thinking in a vision that is concerned within the whole community, and we're going towards that, but that will take time. But it's in a good moment. I mean, Paraguay is on the screen of many people in the investment community in the world, and we need infrastructure. Infrastructure is typically one of the investment that is related to investment grade, and I foreseen Asuncion and the metropolitan area of Asuncion receiving investment within the next 10 years and solve this, necessity of the city. So I see, well, this is like a rock in our shoe, but also it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity because in the real estate sector will move once the infrastructure also move in the same direction. And as you see, a lot of people see the Nueva Asuncion in the Chaco as a great opportunity, but this is an area where infrastructure is really limited. So value will be created once the infrastructure moves there, and the government announced that not only a new bridge is going to be built. They need water, they need electricity, and all these basics need to be built yet.
So if you're interested in investing in the real estate market here and working with the two of us, you're welcome to check out our offers right now, where we help you by providing data-driven reports that help you identify good from bad projects and sort out the good apples from the bad ones, right? So if you're interested in that, you may also go to nomadelite.com and you click on the green button that says book a consultation, and we look forward to talking to you about the local real estate market here and looking forward to helping you get started with one of our packages. Also, if you're interested in securing Paraguayan residency, you're also welcome to go to nomadelite.com and schedule a call with me today. Thank you so much, Ricardo, again for your time. I appreciate it, and I look forward to discussing more with you in the next video.
Thank you very much.